What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with RK Outpost and GeeksandGamers.com, and the NFL is continuing to pay the price for going woke. Roger Goodell, in all his grand wisdom, decided to let the players run the show and virtue signal with all of the social justice messaging that was such a major part of NFL Week 1 football. Now, in Week 2, we saw a pullback. We know that players were still kneeling, players were still protesting, wearing things on the backs of their helmets, but the broadcasters at least knew what that Week 1 meant. When we saw ratings absolutely crash, all these people realized we need to stop focusing so much on this. But it was not enough to help the NFL, at least not on Sunday Night Football. You can see here, go woke, go broke. Sunday Night Football ratings crash by 17%. And keep in mind that this is a rating of two premier franchises in the NFL, the Seahawks and the Patriots. And not to mention, it was a damn good game. Came down to the final play of the game with the Patriots right by the goal line. Cam Newton gets stuffed by the Seahawks at Seattle, and incredible ending to the game, but not a lot of people watched it, as you can see here. Sunday Night Football showcased two of the best franchises in the NFL of the last decade, and despite that, the ratings crashed by nearly 20%. Pulling in 12.22 million viewers in the early metrics and 3.5 in the ratings between 7 and 11. Last night's big NFL game was down 17% in audience and 25% in the key demo from the early numbers of last week's Sunday Night Football official season debut. Now, we know that the early numbers do change. The early numbers usually go up after we get the full data, but that's why they're comparing it to the early numbers that we got last week. Now, that was that LA Rams Dallas Cowboys game. Again, two pretty big franchises. However, one is in LA, where not a lot of people care about professional football. Just being really honest with you, I live in Southern California. I can tell you that LA just simply doesn't have that much care for the Rams, and even less so for the Chargers. And this still managed to take a significant dip in ratings from that. But in reality, let's be fair, right? Let's be fair and compare it to what we had last week in Week 2. Because, you know, all the pomp and circumstance of Week 1, a lot of people anxious for Week 1 football. Maybe that's why the ratings could have been a little bit higher. Maybe that's the excuse some people will use. Well, we can also compare that to last year. Last year's Week 2 matchup between the Falcons and the Eagles drew 15.87 million viewers. So there you have it. That's 3.5 less viewers, or 3.5 million less viewers than that Week 2 matchup. And that's between the Falcons and the Eagles. Now, two quality franchises, but you cannot pretend that's on the same level as a Seahawks versus Patriots game, especially when so many people are tuning in to see how the Patriots do with Cam Newton and without Tom Brady. Can Bill Belichick sustain the excellence there without Tom Brady being there? This is what the NFL deserves to get, to be quite honest with you, because they chose to make their bed. You already have people that have walked away completely, just what the NFL has decided to do, because it's not just the kneeling before the national anthem. It's not just messages in the end zone. It's not just these players putting the names of criminals on their helmets. Sometimes they don't even know what they're doing. We saw the Steelers rise up and rebel against the ownership who decided that they would put the criminal's name on their helmets for them. It's a culmination of all of these things, and when you tune into the broadcast, all you get was inundated with that, especially in Week 1. Now, like I said, Week 2 was better. We're about to have Monday Night Football here in a few hours with ESPN. Do you think ESPN's going to tone back on that? I highly doubt it. We know that ESPN is going to go hard with the far left woke rhetoric, because that's just what they do. Between that and the NFL woke rhetoric that we've seen, that's not a good combination. We shall see what happens to ratings on Monday Night Football as well. Not good for the NFL, but again, I don't think too many people are going to feel sorry for you. They're not going to feel sorry for the NFL. A 28% drop in ratings last weekend, and now this one, Sunday night, another 17%. Absolutely devastating for the NFL. They cannot like how this is going, and I do think we're going to continue to see a change as the NFL wakes up, realizes that they have made a mistake, and backtrack, because let's all face it, they don't actually care about this stuff. The higher ups of the NFL, they do not care. They don't care about Black Lives Matter. They don't care about anyone but themselves and their money. So as soon as the virtue signaling starts to cost them money, which I think arguably it has already, they will start to change it. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to Sports Wars, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.